promotion race for League One to the Championship is right hot to trot right now, with Portsmouth leading the charge, Derby in the second automatic spots, but who, of course, will be there at the end of the season. Big week this week. Who's going to take advantage? We'll get into it next. A picture video today. We'll take a look at match number 38, of course, in League One, and we'll get to it in a second. If you're new where you've been, smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for League One is right here at Blackburn Rovers Seas. Of course, we got Rovers, World Football, League One, all of it under one rooski. Currently, is Portsmouth going to the Championship with Derby joining them at the moment, but Bolton very, very much close to regaining that second spot with Peterborough, Barnsley games in hand, and they actually could take over the reins in their last final hurdle. We'll get into all of that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, but you know who you are. Of course, subscribe. Your one-stop shop for League One is right here. So let's get into it. And of course, look back at last weekend's action. Of course, busy week ahead, double match week over in League One. Blackpool against Portsmouth was a 0-0 draw. Called it, guys. I went with a 1-1 draw myself. Bristol Rovers did lose to Derby. I went with a 3-0 win, 2-1 win in my eyes. Of course, Cambridge United did draw with Northampton Town. I won the 2-1 win for Northampton Town. Charlton, of course, under Nathan Jones, 3-2 win over Carlisle. I won the 2-0 win as well. Exeter, 2-2 draw against Bolton. Dropped points there, of course, for Bolton. I won the 2-1 win for the visitors on that one. Barnsley also dropping points. 5-1 loss to Lincoln City. Big win for them, of course, in the race for the top. Reading, 2-1 loss to Wickham. I went with win the other way. Stevenage, of course, could only muster a draw against Fleetwood. I went with the 2-0 win. Oxford, 2-1 winners over Cheltenham. I went with the 2-1 win. Got that one spot on the nose. Port Vale did lose to Shrewsbury, 2-1 win in the end. And of course, Wigan won a win over Leyton Orient, of course, to take the 3 points and again move the chains. That's, of course, that's the state of play there. This is the table as it stands, or pretty much something along those lines. We have Portsmouth, we have Derby, Bolton, Peterborough, Barnsley, and then Stevenage at that moment. Of course, going down, according to my data, is Carlisle, Port Vale, Fleetwood, and Cheltenham. That's right, with the likes of Reading and Wigan, with their points deductions and all that, seem to be doing pretty much safe for the time being. Anyway, but of course that could all change very, very much so, of course, and despite where we are right now, I'm going to have to skip forward the prediction leagues. Don't worry, of course your points will be carried on to the next games. I'm just running a little bit behind time this week, as of course these games came out of nowhere. But anyway, let's get cracking, of course. Now, also another bit of a spoiler, this first game here, Cheltenham Town against Charlton, has already been played, so we're going to ignore that one. But of course that was played way back earlier in the month, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, and a big win it was for Charlton. So anyway, we're going to get straight into it, the deep end with Carlisle up against Barnsley. Let's get into the deep end then on this one, coming at you on Tuesday the 12th of March, which is tomorrow. Played each other 2 times, 2019, 1 win apiece, of course. Carlisle with a big 3-0 win, their biggest, scored 4 goals in those 2 games, 2 goals games on average. Barnsley with a 2-1 win, their only win, scoring 2 goals in those 2 matches, one goal a game on average. Barnsley on 67% form for them right now, back-to-back games without a win. They are 5th, of course, with 67 points on the board, up against a Carlisle side, 17% form for them, of course, just 1 win in the last 6 matches, heading into this one, 24th in the table, 23 points on the board. Last time around, of course, it was a 2-1 win for Barnsley in Barnsley. That was back in January 2024. The last time I played in Carlisle, you're going to have to go into the record books for that one. The odds for this one, though, we have 70-4 is your Carlisle, 10-7 on is your Barnsley, 14-5 is the draw here. We're back in Barnsley here, 2-0 win, because Carlisle are toast. They're going back down, of course. Derby up against Reading. Let's get into this one over at Pride Park. Now, these two sides have played each other 43 times in 1994, 13 wins for Derby, 23 wins for Reading. We've got 7 draws so far. The big 3-0 win, their biggest for Derby, scoring 53 goals in those 43 matches, 1.23 goals game on average. Reading with a big 5-0 win, the biggest, scoring 77 goals in those 43 matches, 1.79 goals a game, of course. 42% form for Reading right now, 2 wins in the last 6 games. They are 18th officially on paper, 39 points on the board against the Derby county side. 4 wins, 2 defeats over the last 6 games, 67% form for them, but they are 2nd, 72 points on the board as well. Last time around, though, over at Derby, it was a 1-0 win for Derby back in September 2021. That was in the Championship. The reverse fixture, of course, this campaign at the Matchday was a 1-0 win for Reading. The odds right here right now, 6-4 on is your Derby, 11-4 the draw, 92 is your away win. 3-1 win for me for Derby on this one, taking the points and moving the chains. Fleetwood Town against Bristol Rovers, coming at you over at Fleetwood. Now, these two sides have played each other 17 times since 2012, 6 wins for Fleetwood, 5 wins for Bristol Rovers, and 6 draws so far. Fleetwood with a big 4-1 win, their biggest, scoring 23 goals in 17 matches, 1.35 goals a game on average. The visitors, 3-0 win, their biggest, scored scored 18 goals in those 17 matches, 1.06 goals a game on average. Bristol Rovers on 50% form for them right now, winning 3 and losing 3 over the last 6. They are 12th, 49 points on the board against the Fleetwood Town side, 50% form for them right now. Of course, 1-1, lost 1 and drawn 4 over the last 6. They are 22nd, 32 points on the board as well. Last time around, over at Fleetwood, it was a 2-1 win for Bristol Rovers back in April 2023. The reverse fixture in Bristol was a 2-0 win for Fleetwood back in February. Of course, the home side last won this game was when Bristol Rovers beat Fleetwood at Bristol back in December 2018. The odds here, though, 5-4 is your Fleetwood, 5-2 the draw, 21-10 is your away win. 2-1 win for me for Fleetwood on this one to take the points and move the chains. Leyton Orient against Port Vale, of course, coming at you over at Brisbane Road. Now, these two sides have pitched 15 times, 2006, 7 wins for Leyton Orient, 5 for Port Vale, 3 draws so far. For the biggest win for the Orient, 3-1 win. The biggest, scoring 24 goals in 15 matches, 1.60 goals a game. Port Vale, 3-0 win. Their biggest, scoring 23 goals in 15 matches, 1.53 goals a game on average. 8% form for Darren Moore's boys right now, 23rd in the table, 32 points on the board against the Leyton Orient side, 50% form for them right now, winning 3 and losing 3, of course, but back-to-back defeats for Orient, 10th at the table, 54 points on the board as well. Last time around, over at Brisbane Road, it was a 0-0 draw back in January 2022. The reverse fixture, of course, was a 1-0 win for the Orient at Vale Park back in February this campaign. The odds right here right now, we've got 7-4 on is your Orient, 3-1 the draw, 5-1 is your long shots. 2-0 win for me for Orient on this one, taking the points and moving the chains. Lincoln City up against Cambridge United coming at you at the Central Bank. Now, these two sides have played each other 21 times since 2002. We've got 6 wins for Lincoln, 6 wins for Cambridge, 9 draws so far. Lincoln with a big 5-1 win, their biggest, scoring 20 goals in 21 matches, 0.95 goals a game. Up against Cambridge side, 2-0 win, their biggest, scoring 17 goals in those 21 matches, 0.81 goals a game. Of course, they're on 25% form, are Cambridge right now, without a win in the last 5. They are 19th, 39 points on the board against the Lincoln City side, 9th in the table, 55 points right now. Of course, unbeaten in the last 11 matches, 83% form for them over the last 6. The previous match over at Lincoln was a 0-0 draw back in January 2023. The reverse fixture, though, Cambridge this campaign, 3-0 win for Lincoln, who come into this on back-to-back clean sheets against them. The odds right here right now, 10-7 on is your Lincoln, 13-5 the draw, 9-2 is your away win. Lincoln City taking the points and moving the chains again. Can they do it? Can they sneak into the top 6? We'll see about that. Northampton Town against Blackpool coming at you over at Six Fields. They played each other 9 times, 2003. 3 wins for Northampton, 5 for Blackpool, 1 draw so far. Northampton with a big 3-0 win, the biggest, scoring 9 goals in those 9 games as a goal a game on average. Blackpool, 3-0 win, the biggest, scoring 16 goals in those 9 matches, 1.78 goals a game heading into this one. 58% form for Blackpool right now, just 1 defeat in the last 4. They are 8th, 57 points on the board against the Northampton Town side, 11th, 50 points on the board. Of course, just 1 defeat in the last 6, also 58% form for them as well. Last round over at Northampton, it was a 3-0 win for Blackpool back in May 2021. The reverse fixture at Bloomfield Road back in November was a 2-1 win for Northampton. Of course, the odds right here right now, we've got the hosts here, 10-3 for the victory, 11-4 the draw, 5-4 on is your Blackpool here. Going to go with a 1-1 draw here, point apiece. Cannot separate the two sides. Portsmouth up against Burton Albion over at Fratton Park. Now, these two sides have played each other 14 times since 2013. 7 wins for Portsmouth, 3 for Burton, 4 draws so far. The biggest win for Pompey, 2-0 win the biggest, scoring 22 goals in 14 matches, 1.57 goals a game. Burton, though, 2-0 win the biggest, scoring 16 goals in 14 matches, 1.14 goals a game heading into this one. Of course, Burton, 42% form for them right now without a win in the last 4. They are 20th, 39 points on the board against the Pompey side, unbeaten in at least the last 6 games. 83% form for them right now. They are top with 77 points on the board as well. Last time around over at Portsmouth, it was a 1-0 win for Pompey back in February 2023. The reverse fixture at the Pirelli, 2-0 win was for Portsmouth, who have won 4 on the bounce against Burton, clean sheets in the last 3. The odds for this one, 5-2 on is your Pompey for 15-4 the draw, 52 your away win here. 2-0 win for Pompey on this one to extend their lead at the top. That's right. Shrewsbury Town against Exeter City coming at you over at Shrewsbury. Now, these two sides have played each other, of course, 11 times 2003. 4 wins for Shrewsbury, 2 for Exeter, 5 draws so far. The biggest win for the Shrews, 4-0 win the biggest, scoring 18 goals in those 11 games, 1.64 goals a game. Exeter with a 3-2 win their biggest, scoring 13 goals in 11 matches, 1.18 goals a game heading into this one. Exeter without a win the last 5, 33% form for them right now, 16th for the table, 41 points on the board against the Shrewsbury Town side, 42% form for them right now, 2 wins the last 6, they are 17th, 41 points on the board as well. Last round over at Shrewsbury was a 3-2 win for the Shrews back in September 2022. The reverse fixture in Exeter back in November was a 0-0 draw. Shrewsbury unbeaten against Exeter over the last 4, just 1 defeat against them over the last 6. 7-5, of course, is your host, 23-10 the draw, 2-1 is your away win. That's Exeter on this one. Going to go with a 1-1 draw on that one. Meanwhile, Wycombe Wycombe up against Wigan in the Battle of the W's, coming at you over at Wycombe on the 12th of March. Played to the 4 times 2-3, nothing for Wycombe, 3 for Wigan, 1 draw so far. The biggest win for Wigan was the 3-1 win, scoring 7 goals in those 4 matches, 1.75 goals a game. Wycombe, though, the hosts yet to get a win. Of course, 2 goals scored in those 4 games, 0.50 goals a game on an average. Wycombe with 58% form for them right now. 2 defeats in the last 6 are 15th with 44 points on the board against the Wigan side. 58% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 5. 13th for the table, 47 points on the board as well. Last time around, though, of course, over at Wycombe. It was a 3-1 win for Wigan. That was back in February 2022. The reverse fixture in Wigan was a 1-0 win for the hosts back in January 2024. The odds right here right now, 11-10 on is your Wycombe, 13-5 is the draw, 3-1 is your away win. Going to go with an away win here, 2-1 win for Wigan. Of course, will be serious contenders next season for promotion back to the Championship. Bolton Wanderers up against Oxford United. Late kickoff, of course, on the 12th of March. Played each other 14 times in 1993. 7 wins for Bolton, 2 for Oxford. 5 draws so far. The biggest win for Bolton, 4-0 win, scoring 19 goals in those 14 matches, 1.36 goals a game. Oxford 3-1 win, the biggest, scoring 11 goals in 14 matches, 0.79 goals a game. Oxford 50% form for them right now, 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. 7 for the table, 60 points on the board against the Bolton side. 50% form for them right now, 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. They are third, 71 points on the board as well. Last time around, though, over at Bolton, it was a 3-1 win for Oxford back in October 2022. The reverse fixture at the Kazan was a 0-0 draw early in the season back in November. Bolton are unbeaten against them over the last 2 back-to-back clean sheets as well. The odds right here right now, 11-8 on is your Bolton here, 14-5 the draw, 50-4 is your away win. Bolton again with a win, taking the points, and again maybe moving into the top 2. Peterborough against Stevenage, of course, a bit of a zing-zong affair on Wednesday, March the 13th. Now these two sides have played each other 10 times. Just 2011, 3 wins apiece and 4 draws so far. Peterborough with a big 2-0 win, their biggest, scoring 13 goals in 10 matches, 1.30 goals a game. Stevenage 2-1 win, their biggest, scoring 12 goals in 10 matches, 1.20 goals a game heading into this one. Stevenage, of course, unbeaten in the last 4, 50% form for them over the last 6. They are 6th with 61 points on the board against the posh side. 5 wins on the bounce, 83% form for them. They are 4th, 68 points on the board as well. Last time around, though, over at Peterborough in the league, it was a 2-0 win, forced Peterborough actually hold the bloody phone. Last time I played each other in the league was a 1-0 win for Stevenage back in November 2013. Goodness gracious me. The reverse fixture at Stevenage this campaign back in November was a 2-2 draw for Stevenage. Of course, so these two sides not familiar with each other that much. 5-4 on is your Peterborough, 13-5 the draw, 7-2 is your away win. That's Stevenage. I am back in, of course, Peterborough 2, a 3-1 win for them over Stevenage to take the massive points, of course, they need to get closer to the top. That's, of course, my picks, and if I am right, this is what the table will look like, of course, at the end of it, or something along these lines. Portsmouth, Derby, top the tops there, of course, with Bolton not too far away either. Peterborough, Barnsley and Stevenage still in the mixer there, of course, with Oxford, Blackpool, Lincoln. Don't look at Wigan, maybe Leyton Orient, still within an outside sniff of getting into that playoffs, of course. That's, of course, what I've got for you today. Make sure you smash your subscribe. We'll be back with another round of games around about Thursday, I think, for these games. But until then, subscribe. See you later. Of course, keep on predicting now. Of course, I'll see you soon for the next one.